Hello everyone. Hello and welcome. My name is Guilherme, and I will be your host for today for this live. We're very happy to have all of you here. Why don't you do a round of introductions? I will start off with you, Andrea.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Andrea, and I'm a lead game designer here at CMON. It's so good to be here with you. And Roger, you want to go?
Hello, I'm Roger and I'm game designer here at CMON.
Hi everybody, my name's Kenneth. I am a producer at CMON and I'm stationed in Singapore.
All right. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Well, just
Excited?
great. Weather in Italy is great. We are so excited about what's about to happen. So, yay!
Very excited.
Yeah. I'm just
Very
loving seeing
excited.
a lot of the guesses that people are sending us, both on the Facebook post and here on the chat. It's just a lot of fun where you guys are going with. We're just gonna wait for a couple minutes for more people to tune in, and then we're gonna get right into it. What we're going to show today. Let's see. Yeah. There was a lot of interesting guesses about recurring titles and whether it's something new, whether it's something a sequel or not. I guess we'll find out soon.
Yeah, really soon.
I think why don't we start seeing a video maybe of what we're going to talk about today?
Yeah.
All right. This is one of those times we've been working on this for so long. We've been waiting to be able to talk to all of you about this. Let's start with Bruger and Andrea. What can you tell us about Cyberpunk Gangs of Night City?
Wow, what can we say? Well, yeah, it's true. We've been working on the game for so long. We've been playing the video game, trying to deliver the experience and deliver the world into a board game. I think, I'm so excited because it's all Night City in a board game, and it's also a different take from the board game. Players will be leading gangs of Night City, like the subtitle says. So you will be the boss of a gang, which is, really exciting and dangerous job at the same time. It's people that know CMON games, area control CMON games, will recognize the style of the gameplay. If you love Rising Sun, Ankh, Blood Rage, The Godfather, you will recognize something of that. Eric was a good part of the designing team, and I think you will be able to recognize his touch. But we also wanted to try something really cool, really different to make people feel and live Night City and play an area control game where you are not the only forces in play. I don't think I can go much deeper than this, but the gameplay, our playtesters were enthusiastic. I think the gameplay will really blow your mind when you start playing. And that's all I can say. I don't want to say too much, so I will shut up and leave word to Ruger.
I will say some other stuff. As Andrea mentioned, the board game will put you in a very different position from the video game. Like in the video game, you are an edge runner. You see the city through the point of an edge runner or a corp or a nomad, but still it's a single point of view. You are the hero of the story in the video game. Weird hero, but nevertheless, that's your point of view. In the board game, of course, since it's a multiplayer experience, you'll have many people, friends, hopefully at the table. All of you will be the protagonist from the point of view, though, of the gangs. In the video game, you see the gangs war only tangentially, basically, while here the board game really zoom in into the conflict between gangs and how they fight, how different they are. We can say, again, Andrea mentioned before Rising Sun and other, let's say, area control games. We are pretty happy with the results. We hope that the players will be happy too. Each gang is unique, and please stop me because I don't want to say too much. I can't.
It will be the best area control game out there. Bam.
There.
Oh no, I no.
We can also show. Why don't you take a look at the box just to see how it looks and feel for the basic product. Here we go. So as a quick recap, Cyberpunk 2077 Gangs of Night City will be our next Kickstarter project. We'll be coming to Kickstarter soon. Of course, stay tuned to our channels to be notified. You guys mentioned, so this is an area control, and it plays 2 to 4 players, correct?
Correct.
What can you tell us about Night City and how is it important for all these gangs to be vying for control there?
Yeah.
Well,
can I go, Andrea?
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, about the story and the vibes of the city. I think we really did a good job as a team, and I hope it really comes through from the board game. We really wanted a city that it's vibrant and active, and in the game we'll have stuff, and you'll see that basically, meanwhile, during the gang war between players, the corporations are so big that the things that they do, the things that they decide, basically trickle down and impact the life of everybody, gangs included. So depending on what the corporation go through, decide, and do stuff, the rules for the gang wars will change. Different opportunities for the gang will pop up, and let's say this may also affect how the game ends sometimes.
Let's say it's basically, in a nutshell, area control with narrative choices, which is something, to my knowledge, has not really been tried yet. So that's why we're so excited, because we feel we gave a unique gameplay. It's a unique way. I mean, we all have seen other type of games like dungeon crawlers, sandbox games with narrative choices, with narrative stuff happening, but that's more a natural thing happening because it's, I don't want to say easier, but it's somehow more connected. There is a story to follow, you make choices, and then your choices affect the story. Here we tried something similar, but at the same time different, where you are really fighting to control the district of the city, or at least to establish some presence in district where you cannot control. At the same time, things are happening and you can influence what is happening, and what is happening will change the way you play, or you get rewarded or punished for what you are doing. So this is the very unique gaming experience we wanted to deliver. It also kind of gives huge replayability to all the different things you are able to go through. So that's, I mean, and of course it's highly competitive, So expect blood to be how do you say put in the street
Everywhere in Night
flow.
City.
Yeah, blood everywhere in that city. Yeah, and sometimes even not blood, but like machine oil and stuff for androids and robots.
Actually, let me pause you real quickly because I'm seeing some interesting questions
Mhm.
coming up. For example, from Drive Master, how will this link to the canon of Cyberpunk 2077?
Well,
Go, Roger.
it is basically part of the canon. We are, of course, this game was also a conversation with the CD Projekt Red, and the setting of the video game Night City that you are used to see if you've played the video game. You will see many of the personalities, let's say, and figures and places of the video game city. And can we say maybe some of the Edgerunners that you see in the video game, I mean, they may be recruited in the board game? I'm
Yeah,
not sure how much can I say, but you will see
I
some
think
pretty
we can
familiar
tell
faces
them.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will see familiar faces and some new ones.
Yeah.
So very, very specifically, I think the CDPR early on said that we wanted to make this game, at least from what I was told from them, that this game was going to take place a few years before the video game.
Mhm.
Because in I think the video game we play as V, he comes in, he wrecks everything, he kills everybody, like the entire city is almost like uprooted because of just this one fella. So this game takes place before that, where like every gang is still kind of head to head towards each other. There's still people on the streets, and the people that we see in the video game, at least the people who are involved in this game, are still pretty much
Alive.
alive. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No spoilers.
Okay, I'm seeing some others. Just to reinstate what Andrea was saying, this is a competitive game, right? It's
Yeah.
not a one versus many, and very much not a cooperative game. This is very much a competitive
No.
game for purpose. Yeah. Let me take one more, which I think is also important. That one from Guto. He's asking,
Oh.
is it not a campaign game, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah. It's just,
Every single game will start and end, and the next time you play, everything is like reset to the base status of the game.
Yeah.
And I mean about
It's
the
not a campaign game.
No, okay, we can say it. No, it's not a campaign game. That's all we can say.
And of course, with such a cool IP, such a rich world, of course, we would want to make this board game feel very special. And there are a number of amazing figures that we want to show some of them to you. We have residents with Kenneth there in the office. Can we show some of them, Kenneth? Some of the gangs for the groupings, and then we can continue just discussing
Definitely.
them. Who are we looking at?
Haha. I think those are the Maelstroms, right? Yeah.
These are the Maelstroms. And I mean, some of you may notice some things. First of all, I mean, the one that familiar with the video game will recognize that these three are different classes. You can see a solo, you can see a techie, and you can see a netrunner. And aside from that, we have different bases, of course, and these will have a mechanical value, let's say. So it is important that every player is able to, of course, read the table at the same time, and also knowing who has which classes where may be part of your strategy or tactics. So we have different bases for the different classes. And yeah, these look aggressive because they are the Maelstrom, and we can say they are definitely the most aggressive interactive gang that we have in the game. They're I mean, like in the video game, they are pretty violence oriented. Can we say
they will be coming for you?
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a bit on the classes? Like we can definitely see the two different shapes there, and they occupy different slots on the surface, on the game board. Can you elaborate just a little bit on
Sure.
the squares, hexagon spaces?
I'll go on this. So we will have three different classes on the game. I mean, The guy with the axe is a solo. They are basically fighters. They start firefights. They will be the main way to aggressively interact with your opponents. Everybody can fight in the game, but of course they have a unique edge and they have the advantage of starting firefights. Then we have our techies, and techies are jack of all trades in the game. Roger mentioned in the game there will be opportunities for the gangs to try to follow, like smuggling weapons or other illegal things, or intercept stuff going through the city, and hiring Edgerunners to work for you. And this is what techies do, other than building drones that will be used in firefights and stuff. So they can do a lot of unique stuff. And then we have our netrunners, and netrunners do what they do best: try to steal corporate secrets from corporations. So we also have that part of the cyberpunk world covered. So the three classes will kind of, each one has an age and a unique way to approach the game, and working with the classes together or focusing on one and using the other to protect your main strategies is one of the keys in the game.
Perfect. And all the gangs have the same configuration of the three classes, correct?
Yes, all the gangs have access to all three classes, but some of them might be better at few things. You can bet Maelstroms have kind of an edge when it comes to firefight and combat.
Yeah.
And here I already catch myself kind of wondering what can't I say? Because I remember playing with you guys, and I'm like, yes, yes. There's so much in stock that we're preparing for this. It's a huge word, it's super detailed, and we're big fans, right? It's one of those very very rewarding parts of working, being able to work with an IP that we love, and just we're fans as much as you guys. So we're very much. I just can't wait to talk about all the stuff that we have in stock.
Guy, just to answer one of the questions, no, it has not. The gameplay has really nothing to do with Godfather. It's just the same type of game. That's the only. Right? Yeah, that's the only thing they have in common, the two games.
Yeah, I may also add that I've seen in the comments comparison with Rising Sun and Blood Rage and Ankh, and I think we ended up with a pretty unique set of mechanics. So the game will definitely feel unique, very different from these other games. Right. I mean, it will still be if you like to play those games, you'll probably like this too, but we are pretty happy with the final, let's say, ecosystem of mechanics. So
right, and also just to clarify, the pieces that we're seeing right now, the Maelstrom, the trick class of the Maelstrom, these are your player pieces, right? You're not fighting against them. One of the players can play as the Maelstrom, and you have your solo techie and
and then you can hire a specialist, Edgerunners and stuff. But those are the main pieces you are playing with. Cool. Each player is the leader of a different gang. That's the whole point and the whole setup of every game.
And how many figures of these each gang has? For example, Maelstrom here, how many of each they would have?
It's 3 for each class. So you have 9 miniatures. Perfect. Plus a few tokens and stuff.
Yeah. So, are you guys ready for one more gang? What do you say?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I see that the Tyger Claws are arriving. Claws, yeah. Yep. Here they are. There and again, we can see the solos, the techies, and the netrunners of the Tyger Claws. And this is the second gangs of the core box. And while the Maelstrom were, very oriented on aggression, direct competition, the Tyger Claws are probably the more subtle gang that we have in the core box. They, like in the video game, they're pretty oriented on revenge and basically retaliations. So they would be very peculiar to play. I really like them. Without entering too much detail, let's say if somebody gets too aggressive with you, you have tools to retaliate. So again, not spoiling too much, but I'm pretty sure that there will be players out there that will enjoy playing with them a lot.
And speaking of which, you're highlighting some of the differences between those two gangs, between the Maelstroms and the Tyger Claws. How is that conveyed in the game? Players have unique dashboards with unique powers, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Not only, again, like in the video game, they have a unique area they start in. And people familiar with the video game already know which areas are these. Aside from the different starting location that may grant you different resources around you and so on, of course there is unique abilities on your dashboard. Some gangs may have multiple ones. Some gangs have, let's say, synergies between their abilities, but yeah, dashboards is the main focus of asymmetrical powers, I would say, in this game.
Yeah. To me, I'm just loving all the fine detail on the clothing that the Tyger Claws have, particularly that guy right there on his
yeah, the solo,
all the belts.
The solo is great.
Yeah, the solo is super cool.
Yeah. Very nice touch that the blades is just coming out of the sheet there.
Yeah,
right? It's very, very nice touch.
Yeah,
very cool. Shall we see one more gang, or actually there's a couple more, right?
Yep.
Yeah, very good question.
Yeah.
What's the meter scale? So these are 32 mm to the eyes, which are most of our board games.
Oh, yep. These are the Valentinos. Again, the solo, the Netrunner, and the techies. And Valentinos, again, people familiar with the video game will remember that they have a strong sense of community, and let's say they have a fixer that is, close to them. So in the board game, this is represented by the fact that they have, let's say, space for personal opportunities. Like while gangs usually fight to basically trying to seize the different opportunities, they may have access to unique opportunities that only they can basically fulfill. Again, player wise, this is probably on the opposite spectrum of the Maelstrom. If you like to play a more let's say management game, they still fight, of course. They're still violent, of course, but you can, let's say, plan a bit more with them. You can go towards non-aggressive strategies
if the other player lets you do so.
Yeah, of course, if the other player lets you do. But let's say they have tools to play your game.
Yeah. Different shape based represent different classes in the game.
Yeah.
And as a quick rundown, square shape is the Edgerunner.
Sorry?
Right? Square is Edgerunner, then the pentagon is the solo?
Yep.
The pentagon is the solo,
and the
square
octagon
is Netrunner, not Edgerunner, Netrunner. And the octagon is the techie. And the board is not modular because it's Night City.
Yeah.
However, it's a two-side board because one side will be used in 2-3 players and the other side will be used in 4 players.
I remember the Valentinos well because last time I played, Andrea had the Valentinos and he destroyed us. Like he won the game by a landslide.
Andrea should be banned from Valentinos. Honestly, it's like...
And it's interesting. I remember Andrea is not much of a gambler, right? I remember he plays safely and very soundly. And he was net running the whole time. Like he just ran risk after risk.
I mean, it depends on the game, guys. It depends on the game. I'm usually not very good at my own game. But I mean,
but with Valentinos, he's dangerous. Don't listen to him. He's already starting to put the seeds, but he'll annihilate you.
The mind game's already started.
I mean, the good part is this game. I mean, I'm just one of the 4 designers, because we need to mention also Alexio Schneeberger, the other colleague that worked with us at the game design and development. So I mean, this game is only 25% mine, so I can be good at it.
Oh, by the way, so that's also a cool note to touch upon. 4 designers on this one, right? So the two of
Yes,
you, Eric Lang and Alessio.
and Alexio.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's really a teamwork, which makes it at the same time very exciting and really challenging, because, as you can imagine, it's like 4 different points of view. Maybe not that different, but nuances were there, and so it's a lot of freshness, because many different good ideas can come from different people, but it's really a true challenge sometimes to find to mix them together in a way that delivers great gameplay. I'm so proud of the final result.
Yeah.
And in some way, having spent like more than 2 years, I think, working on this, helped a lot to get to the final result, which is an amazing gameplay. I really can't wait for the rule book to be disclosed, for people to try the game and give their impressions, because I'm always so excited when I sit at the table with new playtesters discovering the game and the
Yeah.
possibilities and stuff. It's, I don't know if it's worth to mention. It's like on the complex spectrum if we look at the whole range of CMON games. It's the reason why we put like a tutorial scenario in the game, so that you learn the game through that. And I will definitely really encourage new players to start from there. There is already a lot of meat there just in the tutorial to have a great game experience, and you don't have to immediately throw everything out there.
Yeah, if I can add one thing again, since there was comparison with again Rising Sun and the Godfather before, as Andrea mentioned, this is definitely on the heavier spectrum, to the point that, in my opinion, it's probably the heaviest board game in the CMON catalog. Probably the tutorial, we crafted a tutorial that is a nice enough length to teach the game and to give a nice challenge to players. And again, as Andrea mentioned, we strongly encourage people to start with tutorial, because the mechanics may feel simple, but they are really interconnected. So the different action have consequences that trickle down and affect everything else. So we really suggest people start a tutorial and then jump through the other stuff that we have.
Yeah, personally, I think that's a very good idea. When you have a game that has a bit more complexity, and like you said, it's towards within our complexity genre of air controls, it leans a bit more towards a bit more complex. I think it's a very good idea to have a tutorial there, so you can ease people into the rules, right? Before we move on to the next game, there's a few interesting questions there that we saw. Mason asked, is this set before or after during the event? We briefly mentioned this is a couple of years before the event of the video game. And there's one from Daniel where he's asking whether there's different languages versus on the Kickstarter. It's as our usual Kickstarters go. So for the Kickstarter campaign, it will be English only. Of course, we want to be able to offer as many languages as possible, but that depends on our reaching out to and contacting our global distribution partners, right? As you've seen with other games. So we really want to be able to offer in different languages, and we hope to do that. But for the campaign, at least, it's English only. I guess we can move on, right, to the next game.
Yeah, the last game. Yeah.
Poor Kenneth.
I actually did want to.
He had just taken a seat.
Oh no, I I realized I was muted when I was swapped over to my camera. I actually did want to say that when I first started working on this game, I realized that there was such a thematic link between the types of units and what you see, what you play in the video game. So because coming from me, who I actually I platinumed video game before I started working on this project. It was really cool to see how each of the skills you get in the game, like I think it's body and technical ability and like reflexes, each of these different skills apply to each of the different types of units. How the solos are very focused on combat, how the techies are very focused on their technical abilities like hacking and that kind of stuff. Oh, sorry, rather the net runners are more focused on the hacking, and like the techies are very flexible type people with crafting. I think we can say this. We can say drones. We have drones in the game. The techies
Yeah.
create drones as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it
absolutely.
was very cool how each of their specific class has a very unique role in the game, and deciding what you want to build, how you want to deck out your army, or how you want to deck out your gang, makes the gameplay, makes your choices matter when you're playing with other people. The units
Yep.
are very, very unique in that sense.
Very cool. Who are we looking at here?
For
Voodoo
people
Boys?
wondering, Voodoo Boys.
Yes. Again, this techie, the solo, and the netrunner. And for people familiar with the video game, of course, they are the best hackers in the city, gang-wise. So the net in the board game will have some, I would say, push your luck elements in the long term. So the more you go deep into the net, the more opportunity for secrets and for special stuff that you can do. But of course, the Netwatch is keeping eyes on all the gangs, and the Voodoo Boys, as we know, are pretty good at trying to avoid the Netwatch, but you never know when they. Let's say they are very net oriented. Their netrunners are very cool. So there will be I really love them in the core. Probably they are my favorite gang. They're very peculiar to play because their netrunners are also good in combat, but the net is a really unpredictable area of the board game. So you need to jump between the net and the firefight. So I mean, that'll be pretty interesting for the players that love to be surprised and the more unpredictable side of board games. That'll be the gang to go.
So as we were producing, I think as we were crafting or sculpting these miniatures or creating art for the miniatures, I remember seeing a lot of CDPR resources. They actually pulled in their entire library of the gang clothes, the type of tattoos that they wear, the unique identity of each gang. So we really tried to push the visual identity of the gangs to how they look like in the video game. That was one of the important things that we wanted.
Very cool. I see another interesting question there that goes, what is the objective of the game? RVP is at the end of it?
I'll go with that. I mean, yes and no. Your objective is usually, because that may change. So, but let's say usually your objective is to be the gang with the best reputation, so with the most street creds. And yes, you can look at street creds as victory point because sometimes, yes, you are able to deliver a package in the street it needs to go, and you get street cred for that. Or you just kill a lot of people in a firefight and you get street fight for that. Or you steal some juicy corporate secret and you get street cred for that. But sometimes you get street cred just for doing something cool, or even for having your own people to die miserably in a different firefight or in something while doing something else while trying to do. So it's the answer is yes, but no.
And I can add that again with the stories. There will be even more ways to gain street cred, and even more ways in which the game can end, and not all of them have the street cred as the final condition.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, I'm not sure how much to spoil, but let's say there'll be some surprising ends. So yeah.
So you're telling me money and euro dollars can't win the game for me.
Nah, money again. Like in the video game, money and euro dollars are cool, but they don't win. They are not the good stuff. The street
It's
cred
the
is the
street
most
cred,
important
yeah,
thing.
the
Yeah.
reputation.
Yeah.
Very cool. So these figures we're looking at make up the bulk of your player pieces. When you choose, when you're playing the game, you're playing a gang, you have a number of these figures. There's also the Edgerunners, which are figures that you can hire. So there's basically a market for them, set number.
Yes,
The
and
players can
that's
compete, right?
that's the main use. I mean, you have two main uses in the regular game for euro dollars. One is hire, pay edge runners. They are specialists and they do cool stuff for you. They will work for you. The other is like expanding your hideout network around the city. So euro dollar can take you far in Night City, but they won't make you win by themselves alone. So
this is one of the first characters
yes.
we actually see in the video game, I think. This is Victor Vector. We get to see
Victor
him. Yeah. He's fixing up his fixer arm, dock arm. What's it
Yeah,
called?
it is the surgical arm that he use. Edgerunner has a unique ability, of course. When you hire them, they allow you to do even more cool stuff. We can notice that the base is rounded for all Edgerunners, so you can easily clip your color base so people can recognize which gang they are currently hired by. And some of them also share a class. So for example, Victor Vector is also a techie. So that means that he will be maybe activated when you activate your techies and, do cool stuff. And one thing more that I can say about the Edgerunners is that each of them, we try to make the ability as cohesive as possible with what they do in the video game. So if you're already familiar with them in the video game, you will see cohesion there. I really hope so, because we did an insane job there about trying to make them as respectful as their video game identity as possible. So they're pretty cool.
So I think we need to touch on the fact that these Edgerunners also fit within the classes of the units. Have we said that yet?
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
The Victor Vector is also a techie, right?
Yeah. The Victor Vector is a techie Edgerunner specifically. What do you guys want to see next? I have a good few one-liner, maybe a really rich boy. Let's see this.
We are at your mercy, Kenneth.
Yeah. Carry Eurodyne is one of the more rock attire that he featured in the video game. Again, this was a bit before the video game event, so he was I will say happier here. But he's still a superstar. So let's say he's famous. He's not tied to a class, so he's not a tech, he's not an Edgerunner, he's not a solo. He's a hireable Edgerunner that in this specific case is a specialist. We have some Edgerunner that are specialists, and they generally cost you a bit more money, as you can imagine. But they have pretty unique and pretty cool stuff, usually tied to street cred. So I'm not spoiling his ability, but you'll see.
You're coming close enough.
And let's have a trio.
They want to know.
Yep, let's have a trio. Let's have a trio of the people that we actually get to see in the video game who have their own unique storylines. We have
River World, Goro Takemura, and Judy Alvarez. Yep.
Yes.
So Goro and River here are Edgerunner solos, and Judy is a Edgerunner techie. Again, they have unique abilities. Goro, in my opinion, has one of the more interesting of the entire core box, but I'm not going to spoil it. Let's say it conveys his Arasaka background.
I have a feeling he's good at firefights. Would I be right?
I I'm not telling anything. But let's say if you want to play a more, let's say, I'm not saying anything. No, sorry.
Don't say anything. No.
No, please stop.
I do
me.
have a
was going
weird
to say
question
too
about
much.
Goro though. You guys played the video game, right? So did
Yeah.
you try to did you try to ship him? Did you try to get together with him?
Yeah, of course.
Because
Yeah.
I tried
Sure.
I think I tried to kiss Goro and then he rejected me outright.
Nah,
I'm not sure if anybody managed to go through the whole.
No.
No,
I mean,
Oh,
he's already married with Arasaka, basically.
that is true. Yeah. Okay. There is. This is a good pair. I think we see them in the video game as well. Let's.
Oh, but we are
Yeah.
really showing a
Yeah.
lot.
We are showing. Oh my god! And yeah, T-Bug and Jackie Wells.
Jackie.
I mean, you encounter them really at the beginning of the video game. So if you haven't finished the game yet, but you've played at least the first half an hour, you've probably seen them. Jackie, of course, is a solo edge runner, and T-Bug, of course, is a net runner edge runner here. And Jackie in particular is pretty cool. Again, I'm prepared to bet that he will be fight for in the edge runner market. Like we see playtester that get attached to him immediately. So yeah, is good.
It's just crazy how many weapons we've loaded out on him. He has
Yeah.
machine guns, a machete in the back, and like a dagger on his side. It's ridiculous.
So the mini is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, particularly those two, right? Like the contrast was Jackie
Yeah.
being so big and burly,
Yeah.
right? Taking up so much of the space. His feet is almost off the base there, and T-Bug is all about the subtlety, right? She's crouching, she's attentive.
Yeah.
So cool.
I honestly kudos to the sculptors because their posture really comes through. Like Jackie is like that. It's aggressive. Is ready for anything. That I mean, not spoiling the video game, but you know, Jackie.
No, let's not.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We have
Who do
more
we
peculiar
have?
Wow.
stuff. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we have Nyx and Rogue. Nyx is a netrunner edge runner, and Rogue is a specialist. What can we say about them? I mean, Rogue, you basically get to know her mid video game ish and during some of the flashbacks. This is of course the Rogue, not the young Rogue. It's Rogue as you met her in the video game. So it's old Rogue, and she is a badass.
She has a huge story, right?
Yeah.
Participation. There's
Yeah.
very important lore in general,
Yeah.
from the RPG to here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, again, she's another one that she's usually we see the playtester fight for her because
yes.
she has an interesting ability that I'm not going to spoil.
No. But I usually love when I can get her.
So I think we mentioned that we have 10, I think, Edgerunners in the box, and we have showed 9.
Yeah.
No points for guessing who's the last one.
One wonders.
One wonders.
Oh.
Hold your breath.
Yeah. I'm not sure who this is. No, so I'm sorry. Of course, he's breathtaking.
I think he's one of our playtesters, right?
Yeah, no, yes, he's it's of course is Johnny Silverhand. Specifically, his edge runner personality here is a bit peculiar. If you've played the video game, you'll understand immediately how this works.
Yeah.
If you haven't, don't worry. The ability is written in a language you can understand, hopefully. So you also understand what he does. I cannot spoil this, right? So
No,
I cannot say,
come on.
Okay.
This is really
Because
unique.
it's so good.
And thematic and stuff.
Okay, yeah. Let's say it's very thematic, and if you have any doubt or question about, hey, if this happens before the video game, how can we play with him?
You can.
It'll be immediately clear when you read the ability that he has, and I cannot say anything else. We are really happy with Johnny Silverhand. So yeah.
So this is an overall look at the figures of the core box, right? We saw the game figures, we saw the Edgerunners, which are the figures you can hire. In a nutshell, if you had to pick one, say, Ruger, what's the one thing that excites you the most about Games of Night City?
I mean, maybe pretty personal, but finally seeing it real after years of work. I know it may sound trivial, but it's true. It's like seeing the sculptures so good, sculpted with great love and respect for the IP. It's insane. And I remember the first playtest with basically cardboard standees. This like I want this game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
No, I really can't wait for people to try the game, because I think it's this unique blend of area control and story elements is something I think we should really go so proud about. And yeah, I mean the sculpts are just amazing, but that's what we really do best. They are a joy for the eyes, and I can't comment any more than that, but they're really, really, really amazing. But I really hope players will be pleased and surprised by how the game plays out when they will be able to see like playthrough videos and stuff, and I think everybody will be excited because it's really a unique game. It's difficult to talk about the game without spoiling. So yes, we can't wait for you all to get your hands on the game.
Yeah,
that's.
Yeah. What about for you, Kenneth? You worked on the production of this project for a long time too. What is the thing that excites you the most about Games of Night City?
So I was playing video games more than I was producing the game. I I platinumed the game twice. It's like a mark of like pride and shame for me to having spent so many hours in the video game. So it was kind of cool because I came into the production with the mindset of the video game because I like the characters. I was like, oh, this is Judy. Ah, that's Johnny Silverhand. Ah, it's Victor Vector. I want Victor Vector. And then after exploring the way the game it's really about the theme, right, of this board game, that we play as the gangs rather than the characters in the game. So after going back and playing the PlayStation 5 upgrade of the Cyberpunk again, I was like, oh wait a minute, the Voodoo Boys, then this is their history, and wait a minute, this is the Valentinos, and this fixer belongs to this gang, this fixer belongs to this gang, and I'm like, and the world just opened so much more for me in Cyberpunk after working on this board game, just because there's so much theme injected into the board game. It's
Yeah, it's all research, Kenneth. I remember when I had the live stream with Michael about Bloodborne, the board game, he had finished the game, I think, 13 times by like every single weapon and every single combination. It's definitely great research, right? So you're able to make very good decisions because you know the IP so well.
No, but I agree with Kenneth. And
of
Kenneth did a great job here. Like, yeah, and Kenneth was really on the spot, and he was working. And again, the chat say that he was playing, but he was really working a lot. I mean, so no, he did a great job, and I myself spent a lot of research time on, of course, the video.
It's fine. Let's all agree that this video does not go to our HR department. It's all good. It's all good. We're fine.
Are we streaming this live?
Yeah.
No, it's all good. We have a few more minutes,
What?
people, before we wrap
Wait,
up. If
there are people out there?
If you have questions that you'd like to hear from us, we have a few more minutes to discuss. I remember, to me, particularly when I played the game with you guys, I remember finishing the session, and I remember looking at because I have a large collection of board games at home, and a good number of them are area control. right? And I remember saying, yes, even though I own already some air controls that I love, and I think I told you guys this, I want this just because there's a few different things that it does, and particularly to me was like we briefly touched upon, the narrative choices you make. Like when you play the game, it's never the same thing twice because you're playing a particular scenario, and depending on what the players do, different objectives come to play, and it branches. So I didn't want to get too much into that, but I remember that finishing that session like, this is so unique, this is so cool, right? It's such a rich theme married to a novel mechanic as well. It's very cool. Let's see. What do we have
I
here?
think I saw a question back way up. They
yeah.
were talking about whether this would be a one board or a modular board. We just want to confirm that this takes place in Night City. That's why the title is Gangs of Night City.
Yeah.
So it will be just one board, and it mirrors the geography of the actual video game of Night City and its
But one
citizens.
board with two sides to match a
Of
different
course.
number.
So
couple
And
of players.
it's a big board, right?
It's
Yeah,
a big board.
it's
It's
a
like
very big board.
It's a six-fold, like
Six-fold.
right? So it's a big
Yes.
board, and I remember that specifically the having two different sides for player counts, right? Because of course in area control, so tightness of space is very important, and then there's different sides for different player configurations.
Yeah.
What else do we have there? Let's see. The player counts, it's 2 to 4, just
2 to 4.
reiterating what was there. Yeah, on the cover of the box.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get maybe one more.
How do the story element work?
And
That
there's
will
a
be
question
a
about
lot
the
of
story. Yeah.
That's a lot of spoiling. Let's just say there will be one story running, and what you do in the game will interact with what happens in the story, and vice versa. What happens in the story will sometimes limit, sometimes change what you can do in the game. So likely the main protagonist of the story won't be a single gang or one of the players, but will be something else that happens. I mean, I can say that we wanted to convey to the players the feeling that they are not. I mean, sometimes you play area control game and you are playing over an atlas, over an empty map that does nothing. Your troops are going around shooting and fighting and taking control, but the board, the map, the world doesn't react to what you do. And I always felt that pretty anti-thematic. Like, I mean, so creating a game where, yes, your troops are going around, are taking control of stuff, are stealing corporate secrets, entering data fortresses, occupying business points, and then the game doesn't react. It's only the other players that react to you. It always felt to me like, not, let's say, not optimal. So we wanted to make this unique system which merged the two things. And really, I probably said too much, but I'm so proud of all the whole mechanic that I can't shut up.
I can add think because
yes, you can expect NCPD interference. Yes, and not just that. Netwatch and
I will
more
not
and more
spoil
and more.
anything. But
of course,
did we freeze him? I thought we froze him.
How the story came out, like the.
I pushed the freeze button now.
What?
You
froze right at you when you said, "I'm not going to spoil anything."
You're back now, Roger. You're fine.
Yeah, that's Netwatch. I have your corporate secret, Netwatch. No, again, I want to say that I'm really happy with the story's work because we really tried to have a unique approach. We will have design diaries in the future coming out, explaining a lot of the behind the scene design thoughts and stuff. But I can say that they are not quests, they are not missions. As Andrea said, it's the city that do stuff, it's the corporation that do stuff and affects you. Like the gang, we really try to work with different psychometry of players with the gang. So you have the more aggressive gang, you have the more solitaire-ish gang, you have the more risk-based gang. The stories too will have different psychometries. Some of them will be more based on surprise. Some of them will be highly replayable. You basically pick the story, plug the story in the game, and basically you play the game, and the story affects you. But again, the story doesn't have a protagonist, a character between you. Actually, if we need to assign a character or a protagonist to the story, it's the corporation. So it'll be a pretty weird experience, but I hope it'll resonate with a lot of you. And I come from a role-playing background, so we really didn't want to have like a booklet with stuff that you could read with the
He's being hacked.
Clashing narratives and gameplay together. We really think that we ended up with a really gameplay-oriented storytelling that leaves space for emergent play. So we are really excited about this, as you can probably see.
So as you can see, there's a lot we want to talk about. We want to talk about the story elements. We want to talk about combat. We want to talk about all this. How does that play? I see people asking dice and cards. But that's too much because we're coming to the end of our live. We will have another one later to discuss more in depth for you. But as a reminder, so we have the pre-launch page for the campaign is up now. Make sure we'll post the link here on the chat and also on our social media channels. Make sure to click there and follow, because then you get an email notification once the campaign is live. We will be announcing the date soon. Stay tuned. We're not announcing today. For now, we're just saying the campaign is very, very soon.
Coming soon.
Coming very soon. Please stay tuned, and then and definitely hit the follow so that you can receive an email notification when the campaign is launched. I think that's it, what we have for all of you guys today. I hope you're excited as we are, and we'll talk soon and show you more of Cyberpunk Gangs of Night City. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.